No, one of the challenges we have as human is not being able to understand how interconnected we are. And by that, I mean, we have been raised in a way that makes us not to love ourselves. And because we have been raised in a way that makes us not to love ourselves, so self-love is abnormal. For example, society is okay when you praise others, give them accolade. But society sees it as egoistic when you praise yourself. So if it's okay for you to praise others, why is it difficult or bad for you to praise yourself? Such that people even find it difficult to be able to, say things to themselves to make themselves look good, happy about their achievements, such that sometimes they even despise their progress. Let me start today by quoting the scripture that says that we can understand God by studying the creation or the work of his hand. He said, for the invisible things of him from creation of the world are clearly seen, being understood by the things that are made, even his eternal power and Godhead, so that they were without excuse. Another translation says that God's eternal power and character cannot be seen. But from the beginning of creation, God has shown what these are like by all that he has made. That is why those people are without excuse. So if there is a confusion as to the understanding of who God is in the heart of any, just check creation. Check creation. Look at the things he has created and the principle that guide them. That gives a lot of insight into the mindset of God, particularly being a God of system. I would like to say that some of the languages in scriptures are based on limitation of the understanding of the people at that time, such that if the scripture were going to be written today, we are going to see some changes in the language that is being used. I'm very sure you see words like energies, frequencies, and vibration. For example, love, joy, and peace make it to be at a high frequency of vibration, but anger, hatred, and fear make it to be at a low frequency of vibration. And anger, hatred, and fear are associated with evil. That is why, as long as in Christ, which means you are full of love, joy, and peace, evil power cannot harm you because you are above them due to the high frequency of vibration. You are above them due to the high frequency of vibration. This is why, as long as you are in Christ, evil power cannot harm you. Evil power cannot harm you. He says that is born of God, keepeth himself, and the wicked one toucheth him not. Why? Why is the wicked one unable to touch him? He's unable to touch him because he's above all by virtue of his frequency of vibration. And today, we are talking about self-love, which means this makes you to be at a high frequency of vibration. And guess what? Because at a high frequency of vibration, then you are at a point where you are at peace. You have heaven created within. You are in alignment with God. And that makes it easier for you to attract your heart desire. God has set different systems on earth. And this makes him not interfere in the way the earth operates every time. Some of these systems include water cycle, carbon cycle, phosphorus cycle, nitrogen cycle. He has put in place a system that ensures that every human being is able to manifest their heart desire. And this is the focus on this seminar on unveiling, and leveraging on the God system of manifestation. Let me start by saying, when you understand self-love, you come to the recognition that self-love is nothing more than fulfillment. Fulfillment. Self-love means fulfillment. If you love yourself, you live in fulfillment. Why are you able to live in fulfillment? Because you love yourself. You know, a number of things that happen to us as humans is the way we treat ourselves. Because you're a human being, you will make mistakes. But how do you treat yourself when you make that mistake? The very act of seeking fulfillment in life, in business, in career, in ministry, are all indicative of the fact that you lack it. And remember that you can only have what you already have. So, until you have self-love, you will be unable to manifest your desired reality. Again, self-love is about fulfillment, right? And self-love equals to fulfillment. And fulfillment equals to achievement in life, in business, and career. That means self-love equals to fulfillment in life, in business, in career. That's just basic mathematics. So self-love has nothing to do with enjoying anything external, but rather it has a lot to do on the internal state of consciousness. Internal state of consciousness. So if you tie your self-love to external, like going to places to enjoy yourself, finding a loving spouse that make you to tie yourself to an illusion. Meaning, if your enjoyment is only dependent on the external, that's a challenge. If your enjoyment is only dependent on the external, that's a challenge. And a big challenge, I must say. Why? When you focus on the external, you are focusing on illusion. And because it's illusion, this can change. This can change in a moment, and thereby making you to look in and out, to be in and out of that joy and fulfillment. Why? Because you are relying on the external that is not constant. It's changing. It's changing. It's changing. Please know that self-love is nothing more than achievement. And it's nothing to be achieved later. It is what you must enter in now. Self-love is something you must get into now, not something to be achieved later. It's something you must get into now. Also know that relationship you have with yourself is the foundation of other relationships that you have with everyone and everything in this God system of the universe. That means if you are not happy with yourself, you will not be happy with others. You know, sometimes I remember when I was still working in a bank, They will say, that boss is a sadist. You know why they call someone a sadist? The reason they call someone a sadist is because he's not always happy. He's not always happy. That's why they call him a sadist. But what you don't know is that person you call a sadist, the reason he's always sad is because he's not happy with himself. So, if he's not happy with himself, how will he be happy with you? How? How? This is why you should pity such people. If someone is wicked to others, particularly bosses who are just very mean to their subordinate, such that they lose their job, that person needs help. The reason is because this person don't love themselves. These people don't love themselves. So they cannot give you love. You can't give love to anyone. You can't give what you don't have. It's only he that is well that can donate blood. It's only he that is well that can donate blood. You cannot give what you don't have. You cannot give what you don't have. So if someone is mean and wicked, just know this person is not happy with himself. He doesn't love himself. If he does not love himself, how will he love you? How now? How? He needs help. You are surprised at the way he's behaving? You should not be surprised at all. He needs help. He needs help. The reason is because these people don't love themselves, so they can't give love. Remember that every single person around you is nothing more than you express differently. This is because we all have the same consciousness in all of us. The only difference is our physical look. So every relationship that you have in the world is dependent on the relationship you have with yourself. That is why you must prioritize you. Hello, you must prioritize you. Prioritize yourself. Because when you prioritize yourself and you're fine, every other person around you will be fine. You must prioritize you. The prioritizing of relationship with yourself will make it easier to manifest a good relationship with others. Please know that all that your desire reality wants is just one thing. One thing. That is the frequency and the state of consciousness that matches it. Well, that's what attracted to you. It is when your frequency resonates with that frequency of a desired reality in God's system that your desire is manifested. So you need to make your desired reality in the universe to desire you by having a frequency that resonates with it. Someone call it the desire of your desire. The desire of your desire. Your desired reality desire you because you are in a frequency that resonates with it. I believe at the end of today, you should begin to see people differently. Someone is behaving like a devil, as a wicked person, mean to others. You should pity him. Why? He cannot give what he does not have. If you are full of love, you cannot hate people. If you are full of love, you can't hate people. You can't be mean to people. You can't be wicked to people. Because, when you squeeze orange, blood does not come out. You know why? There's no blood inside. It's orange juice inside. When you squeeze someone under pressure, offended, abused, what will come out is what is inside. What comes out is inside. If there's no hatred, animosity, it will not come out because it's not there. So that's why the Bible says, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. If it's full of hate, it will speak hate. Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. He said a good tree cannot produce evil fruit. An evil tree cannot produce good fruit. So this will make you begin to see people with pity. And say, that guy is too wicked. That lady is too wicked. Don't say he's too wicked. Pity him. There's no self-love. There's no self-love. Remember? Self-love being fulfillment. And that's exactly what you want. When you have that self-love, you naturally are at peace, full of love and joy. You are at a frequency that attracts more situations and circumstances that will make you to be at peace, full of joy and love to come to you. So you can connect how self-love help you to manifest your desired reality. Remember that your frequencies speak before you speak. So before you make that sales, your frequency has made the sale. Before you give that job, get that job, your frequency already got the job. This is because people only echo what is already whispered to them in their consciousness. People only echo what is already whispered to them in their consciousness. People only echo what is already whispered to them in their consciousness. This is because people only echo what is already whispered to their consciousness. When someone is in a dear situation and say, Mogbe, Jesus, or is cool and calm. There are different situations. When you say Mogbe, he's afraid. When you say Jesus, he's also afraid. Only that he believes in Jesus, which is good. But he's afraid. But someone else in that situation will just be calm. Why? Because fear is eliminated. It's eliminated. It's eliminated. People only echo what is already whispered to them in their consciousness. Self-love has a number of components that we'll be discussing in this session today. And it's important to understand this and put them into practice. Remember, self-love equals to fulfillment. And when you have anything in your life you want to manifest, it's the same thing. It's a fulfillment. At the end of the day, when you get the job, it's fulfillment. When you get the business, fulfillment. When you get the opportunity, it's fulfillment. When you get married, fulfillment. And self-love is about fulfillment. Meaning, when you are full of self-love, guess what? You will attract all these things to yourself. And I have about 5 components of self-love. 5 components of self-love. 5 components of self-love. I hope we'll be able to finish it today. The first component of self-love is self-forgiveness. The first component of self-love is self-forgiveness. The first component of self-love is self-forgiveness. For self-love, your self-love is directly reflective of your forgiveness, self-forgiveness. And this is because for you to forgive others, you need to forgive yourself first. Some people are offended and they find it difficult to forgive. Let me tell you, that person also is not forgiving himself. And you want him to forgive. You say, it's difficult. How will I forgive that? This person is not forgiving himself. How on earth does he forgive others? He has not forgiven himself. He has not forgiven himself. How on earth does he forgive others? Remember, it's only that is well that can donate blood. You can't give what you don't have. It's only he that is well that can donate blood. You can't give what you don't have. You are saying this guy should forgive others? He cannot even forgive himself. How on earth will he forgive others? Self-forgiveness is a big deal, ladies and gentlemen. And this is so important. You know, sometimes some things happen, you do some things, you mess up, you do something you're not supposed to do. I mean, there's so many things that can happen in our life. You made mistake. Look, if you don't forgive yourself, you will not attain that fulfillment that will resonate, make it to be at a frequency to attract that desired reality. Because you won't be fulfilled. Each time you think about it, you are sad. Each time you think about it, you are sad. Why? Because you made a mistake. I shouldn't have gone there. I shouldn't have done this. But it has happened. You can't reverse it. Now, remember the principle of polarity, the law of polarity. The energetic opposite of self-forgiveness is self-punishment. So that means many people currently punish themselves, but they are supposed to be in the other side of self-forgiveness. You punish yourself for your wrongdoing. And each time you remind yourself, if not because I did this thing, if not because I did this thing, if not because I did this thing, if not because I did this thing. If you find it deep, you keep indicting yourself, abusing yourself. The energetic polarity of self-love, component of self-forgiveness, is self-punishment. And that means you punish yourself for your wrongdoing. Many people have refused to forgive themselves because of what they did or couldn't do when they were ignorant about life or when they were growing up. When they were growing up, they keep telling themselves that you should have done this earlier or you should have done this better because of a sincere mistake they made. And this makes you to be in a state of mind that make it difficult for you to attract your desired reality. Because you're not happy with yourself. You are creating hell within. Remember, a man can receive nothing except it be given to him from heaven. And the kingdom of heaven is within you. So if you are creating hell within, you won't receive anything from heaven. The internal conversation you have with yourself enter your subconscious mind and enter the consciousness of those around you, and it determines the way they perceive you. So if you don't forgive yourself, people around you will find it difficult to forgive you. Remember, please don't forget this. Your frequency speak before you speak. 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 You just realize that the person finding it difficult to forgive just does not like you because you don't like yourself. And he's going into his consciousness. When you think of what you say to yourself when you failed, when you made mistake, when you messed up, are this not reflective of what eventually manifests in your life again? This thereby make you to be more angry with yourself. And this become a vicious cycle. So you made a mistake, you keep blaming yourself, blaming yourself, blaming yourself, blaming yourself. Then you feel unhappy, sad, disappointed in yourself. This feeling is an emotion, energy emotion. It's an energetic vibration compound to be a frequency and become your reality. You keep having similar mistake, making similar mistake, attracting similar people to your life. Have you ever wondered why the people that say men are scum or women are dog are the one attracting dog to themselves and attracting scum to themselves? And that's why they don't believe there are good men. They will never see one. Why? Your consciousness, your frequency speak before you speak. So you keep attracting the same set of people to yourself. In fact, some of them are so damaged that when they attract a good guy and the guy is nice, kind, loving, caring, they become suspicious. Why? Because their normal is chaos. So when the guy is not full of drama, it's not chaotic, they find it difficult to live with that kind of person. And they say, it's too boring. Can you imagine? The person beating them is not boring. It's the person kind that is boring because it's not full of drama. That's why they keep attracting the kind of person to themselves. So can you, with that attitude, you will chase away that good guy. Why? Your frequency speak before you speak. Your frequency speak before you speak. Your frequency speak before you speak. You know, today, some people think God is punishing them, but not knowing that they are the one punishing themselves because they have refused to forgive themselves. And because they refuse to forgive themselves, they are bitter, sad, unhappy with themselves. And as within, so without, as a man thinking, not so easy. So they attract to themselves more situations and circumstances that make them more bitter, sad, and unhappy with themselves. And they say, God is punishing them. They are focusing on the mistake they made, and this makes them to feel bad. And this focus is concentration, which determines their frequency. This frequency of self-punishment make them to experience more situations and circumstances that make them to punish themselves the more. Please know that the way people treat you, the way you want people to treat you when you make mistake is the same way you should treat yourself when you make mistake. The way you want people to treat you when you make mistake is the same way you should treat yourself when you make mistake. This is why some people easily get favored, while others do not get easily favored, because the favored one has self-forgiveness. Hence, he is not punished with disfavor on the outside. The favored one has self-forgiveness and therefore is not punished with disfavor on the outside. You need to forgive yourself for not looking certain way, for not getting that job, for messing up at the interview, for disappointing your parent, for disappointing your uncle, for disappointing your lecturer, for disappointing your spouse, for disappointing your partner, for the way you live your life before you met Christ, for not being serious while in secondary school, making you to have bad grade, or in university, making you to have bad grade and making it difficult to get a job. You need to forgive yourself. You know what we're discussing today is the reason why some people are not happy with their life. They're sad. They're unhappy. Because they have refused to forgive themselves. No self-love. No self-love. They have refused to forgive them. By forgiving yourself, ladies and gentlemen, you are holding on to by not forgiving yourself, you are holding on to a hot coal. You are holding on to a hot coal. And you are wondering why you are hot. The coal is hot, it's burning you, and you are wondering, why am I being burnt like this? You are holding on to a hot coal. Let it go. Forget the past. Stop the distorted perception of the past, because that will lead to a distorted perception of the future. Because you have refused to forgive yourself of what you did in the past. And sometimes some of these things you did it before you met Christ. Now you have met Christ. Now you don't need that kind of life, but you refuse to forgive yourself. So when you meet a new guy, you are still using your past to judge. You are still using your past to judge the lady, to judge the guy. Why? You have refused to forgive yourself. So you see everybody the same way. because you make mistake, fall into the hands of someone, and he did something to you don't like, you now begin to suspect everybody. And there's a Yoruba adage that said, if you close your eyes for bad people to pass, when good people are passing, you will not know. When good people are passing, you will not know. Please know that the God system of the universe do nothing than to maintain or magnify that base emotional state that you find yourself. So, for instance, when you do something you are not happy about, be okay with it and be cool with yourself and forgive yourself. That's not to say you should go and repeat the mistake, but it has happened. You cannot reverse it. Learn the lesson, prevent it from happening, but forgive yourself. Be kind with the way you look externally. Some ladies, they really don't like the way they look, because sometimes it's a big deal for them. And it's not helping, because that's why people do BBL, tummy talk. They're not happy with the way they look. They're comparing themselves with others. And they think that's the reason they're not getting the men. So they change their looks. They've forgotten that it's not your fault. It's called gene. You pick up the gene either from your mother or dad or father or both. So you can't be sad about the way you look, because it's not within your control. You didn't determine that. Be kind to the way you look. Don't attribute your situation of not getting what you want, like a job, to the way you look externally. Because I didn't look nice, that's why they didn't hire me. And I didn't look beautiful, I'm not handsome. Changing how you look externally and not forgiving yourself in this sense will not change how you feel internally. You just feel cool a little bit because you change how you look externally, you not like how you look. But if you're not forgiving yourself, you are going to relapse back to the base emotional state. Back to the base emotional state. There are people who have gone to do plastic surgery, BBL, breast enlargement, and still went back to their negative emotional state after a little euphoria of the change in the body. Because they think that the reason they don't feel good about themselves is because of the way they look. But they don't know that it's far deeper than that. You know, we are so superficial. Many people are very superficial, very, very superficial. Very, very superficial. Very, very superficial. And it shows in what people do, because they're very superficial. Don't try to solve external problem with plastic surgery. Don't try to solve internal emotional problem, rather, with plastic surgery. You can only solve internal problem internally. So being fat, thin, black, white, short, tall, small, large. You want a particular body part to be bigger and it's smaller? That is not the problem. The problem is an internal problem, and you should solve it internally. Because the way you perceive that thing is what makes you feel the way you feel. It's not that thing. The way you perceive it. The way you perceive it. All this is what equates to self-love. Some people online have left their marriages because they are not happy. And not because of abuse or infidelity, because of lack of self-love. Because they don't love themselves, they left. Why? Because they want a chaotic life. So they left. The guy is too boring. Because they don't love themselves. They are okay with their bills. Best marriages happen when two people that have already found self-love, have self-love, come together, and not when one is depending on the other for self-love. I'll take that again. A good marriage is consummated when two people that love themselves marry. They love themselves. They are not hoping to get the love from the guy or the lady. They already love themselves. They have self-love. When two people that have self-love marry, they have the best of marriages. But when one does not have self-love, he's expecting self. So he will complain about so many things. He's not doing this. He doesn't love me. She doesn't love herself. He doesn't love himself. So there's no fulfillment and satisfaction in himself. Self-love. Those kind of people, they cannot be by themselves. Oh. No, someone must appreciate them, or what do you call it? So if someone is not doing it, no, it must come from outside. Look, if you cannot live by yourself alone, you are just in a house by yourself alone. If you cannot live by yourself alone, did you hear me? If you cannot live by yourself alone, if you cannot live by yourself alone, and just be on your own, and you miss nothing for days, you're not seeing anybody, and you're enjoying yourself by yourself alone, don't get married. Oh. Because if your guy or lady is a busy person and is not available most of the time, you might have issue and be complaining because you're not happy with yourself by yourself alone. Best marriages happen when two people that already love themselves come together, and not when one is depending on the other for self-love. So do not look to get your source of self-love from external things or other human beings around you. Number 2, self-praise. 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 I will spend about 1.5 hours today, so bear with me. I don't want to split this. Self-praise. Self-praise. The best marriages happen, self-praise. It is most unfortunate that we live in a world where many people only get praise after they are dead, after they left this world. Many people only get praise after they are dead, after they left this world. You begin to praise accolade on them. Please note that self-praise is a very critical aspect of self-love. If you don't learn to praise yourself, no one will praise you. Note that self-praise is a very critical aspect of self-love. If you don't learn to praise yourself, nobody will praise you. Remember, the first one is self-forgiveness. Second component of self-love is self-praise. As a matter of fact, many people will only praise you when the aura you exude through your frequency of self-love show that you praise yourself. Can you see how people are thinking in our society? We think upside down. We see it to be okay to praise others, but we don't see it to be okay to praise ourselves. We see it as egoistic. But you can praise others, but you can't praise yourself. This is why, this is what is denying you of self-love. The energetic opposite of self-praise is self-criticism. So you are more eager to criticize yourself than to praise yourself. When you do something wrong, you criticize yourself. But when you do something good, you don't praise yourself. Can you see the way our reality is upside down? When you do something wrong, you criticize yourself. But when you do something great, you don't praise yourself. You are quick to criticize yourself rather than praise yourself. Rather than appreciate God's intelligence in your life. Appreciate God's gifts of whatever skill you have that you're so good at. You know, appreciate God's gift in your life and thank Him for what He has helped you to do. Praise yourself. Appreciate yourself. Appreciate that gift of God in you. But people are quick to criticize themselves. They are quick to criticize themselves. They are quick to criticize themselves. And praising yourself does not make you proud. You know what I mean to be proud? When you are saying what is not true. I'm a graduate. I'm happy I'm a graduate. That's a fact. That's not being prideful. Because you are just saying the obvious. You are just saying the obvious. You are just saying the obvious. I think it's your network or Eunice. I have a monitor here and I can hear myself clearly. Please confirm you can hear me clearly. I can hear myself clearly on my monitor. Please confirm you can hear me clearly. Someone say it's breaking. Okay, you can hear now.
I hear you, sir.
Okay. Thank you. You know, very quick to criticize themselves, but they find it difficult to praise themselves. How often do you tell yourself, you have done well. Dili, you have done well. Kunle, you have done well. Damilola, you have done well. Emeka, you have done well. Azan, you have done well. How often do you tell yourself, you have done well? You are an amazing human being. You are an intelligent human being. You're a successful man. You're a successful man. How often do you tell yourself good things? Say good things to yourself. Don't be criticizing yourself. You know, somehow society have made us to feel it's not good to praise yourself, to say good things about yourself. You are saying what is obvious, what is real, what is true to yourself. Remember, either you know it or not, your frequencies speak before you speak. If you're always criticizing yourself, people are going to always criticize you. Because if you don't see anything good in you, nobody will see anything good in you. Because your frequencies speak before you speak. Your aura speak before you speak. The frequency you exude speak before you speak. So subconsciously, you are communicating to people around you that you are not supposed to be appreciated. No. You'll be criticized. You'll be criticized. You are wired by the environment to be comfortable with people saying that you are very good at what you do, but you are okay with people saying, you have been wired by the environment to be uncomfortable with you saying you are good at what you do, but you are okay with people saying that to you. You are uncomfortable with you saying it to yourself, but you are comfortable with people saying it to you. That means you should depend on the praise of people on the outside. So that means if nobody praises you on the outside, you are devoid of self-love because you are depending on the outside for self-love. Don't let the praise from outside affect you. This is because the same rope that human being used to pull you up is the same rope that used to pull you down. So today, they say, Hosanna to the Son of David. Tomorrow, they say, crucify him. So praise yourself so well when you do great things in life, such that whatever praise comes from others, listen to this. Praise yourself so well when you do great things in life, such that whatever praise comes from others, it does not even affect you internally because you're already filled up with self-praise. So when people don't praise you, you don't feel, they can't even appreciate me. Can you imagine? They can't even appreciate me. See all that I've done. They can't even, this office self. Nobody even appreciate the effort that one is putting in. Praise yourself. You're starved of praise because you don't have self-love. You are doing a lot, nobody's appreciating you. Why are you waiting for people to appreciate you? Why are you not appreciating yourself? If you appreciate yourself and you're full of appreciation, you will not be bothered that someone is not appreciating you. Why? You're already full of appreciation. You're already full of self-praise. Appreciate yourself. Speak to yourself. Appreciate God's creature. Appreciate your beauty. Appreciate your achievement. Appreciate the good thing God is doing in your life. Don't wait for someone to appreciate it. It's called self-love. It's called self-love. It's called self-love. And guess what? When you begin to appreciate yourself, you're going to emit a frequency that will make people to appreciate you also. It's called self-love. Now, maybe this will begin to let you know the reason why people treat you the way they treat you in the office. Maybe this will make people to begin to consciously see the way, because look, this life is a mirror. Everything you see outside is a mirror of what is happening on the inside. It's just a reflection of what is happening on the inside. You just reflect on what's happening on the inside. In fact, not being appreciated on the outside is a sign that you're not appreciating yourself. Do not wait for people's praise. Be so filled up with self-praise and bottle filled up such that either it comes from outside or not, you're fine. If you deny yourself of self-praise because you are egoistic, you are indirectly telling the God system of the universe to only allow events, circumstances, and situations of self-criticism to come to you. Because you're not, if you don't praise yourself, you're indirectly inviting criticism to come to you. So don't be surprised when people criticize you. When, look, you have just done something great. You have not seen anything good about what you have done. And you are worried that, can you imagine? See all that I've done this morning. This little mistake is what they are criticizing. They're not even appreciating me. It's because you are not appreciating yourself. No matter what you do, no matter how small what you have done, ensure you praise yourself. From the smallest thing to the greatest thing. Someone put it this way: eat all the time as if you are dining with the king, where there is enough for everyone. Eat every time as if you are dining with the king. There's enough for everyone. How do you even think you can attract to yourself that which you already criticize in your life? How now? How? You need to begin to praise yourself in the way that you want the universe to praise you. If you don't, you cannot set in motion events, circumstances, situations that will make you to experience self-praise, that will make you to experience praise from others. Praise has to begin within, because you can only resonate with the opportunity in the God system of the universe when you have first created it inside through self-praise. So how will you be able to get the opportunity to be with someone you love when you are busy criticizing yourself for being unable to meet them? How will you meet them? How will you meet them? You're already criticizing yourself for being unable to meet them. It's because of the way I look. It's the way because I'm short, because I'm tall, because I'm fat, because I'm thin, because I'm Igbo, because I'm Hausa, because I'm Yoruba, because I'm this, because I'm that. How will you even have the opportunity to meet someone you love when you are busy criticizing yourself for being unable to meet them? Number one, self-forgiveness. Number two, self-praise. Number three, self-worth. Worth, W-O-R-T-H, worth. Even though we have had a session before on self-worth in the past, if you have not seen it, check the YouTube or SoundCloud. I will still talk about it today. Your self-worth is not what you believe you deserve. No, it's what you know you deserve. Again, your self-worth is not what you believe you deserve. It's what you know you deserve. And you know what you deserve. 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 That's why there's some amount you cannot even conceive. You can't conceive it. Why? Because you know what you deserve. Your self-worth is not what you believe you deserve, it's what you know you deserve. Most people think their self-worth is what they believe they deserve. But it is not true. Your self-worth is what you know you deserve. It's knowing is all about your emotion. And that is why knowing is at the level of your subconscious mind. If you have not shifted your subconscious mind to the extent that you know that you have what it takes, you know that you have that desired reality, then you will not get it. Please note, in this life, the ceiling of your self-worth is the height of what you are going to be able to attract to yourself in life. No matter the effort you make, no matter the prayer, the fasting, no matter what you do in spiritual exercise, if your self-worth is at 1 million, you will never pass it. Why? Because I wish above all things that thou mayest prosper and be in health, even as your soul prosper. You prosper to the level of the prosperity of your soul, of your mind. You prosper to the level of the prosperity of your soul, of your mind. This is so important. So self-love is seen in the way you see yourself. And this can be boosted with self-worth is seen in the way you see yourself. Self-love is seen in the way you see yourself, and self-love can be boosted with self-worth. Your self-worth is determined and calibrated by what you have emotionally and intensely experienced in your subconscious mind. What you have emotionally and intensely experienced in your subconscious mind. Many people believe that they deserve the best in life, but their subconscious mind know that they do not deserve the best, but rather the worst. Let me give you an example. If you have been rejected several times as a salesperson, you've had a lot of rejection. After a while, let's say you are selling, and what you are selling, let's say you have good of 1 million, or you have good of 10 million. Let's say realtor, for example, a house, big house of maybe 100 million, and a small house of maybe 30 million. You have been able to sell the smaller one, but you have not been able to sell the bigger one. Or earning salary. You're at an interview, you're negotiating. Even the way you negotiate, sometimes your mouth will not be able to say the money. Why? Because you don't know you deserve it. So to say the amount, if that's too big. Okay, let me just say this one. You can't even say it. Why? Because you have emotionally and intensely experienced a very low level of life that is difficult for you to conceive a higher level. Unfortunately, people deem themselves as worthless, and this is not actively but passively by the way they see themselves and the things they say to themselves and the things they get themselves. Unfortunately, some people deem themselves worthless, and this is not actively but passively by the way they see themselves and the things they get for themselves. They have the option of buying something that is more expensive, but they prefer the cheaper one. And funny enough, the expensive is actually more durable, might save them effort. It's just like someone getting a kind of phone There's some phone you buy within a year, in less than a year, you're already having issues. You want to change it again. But there's some phone you buy 3 years, 4 years. I have an iPad in my house that I've used for 12, 13 years. I've used it. My wife has used it. My son is currently using it. More than 13 years. So I don't need to be looking for tablet. Some people might have bought 2, 3, 4 other tablets within that period. The things you choose to buy for yourself, the way you see yourself. When they say, okay, this one is this price, this one is this price. Why do you choose not to buy the best? Not because you are being reckless in spending. It's actually better in most cases. But sometimes something in you say, no, it's this one. I think this, I can only afford this one. Not because you can't pay for that one. It's just that it's expensive. And rather than saying, okay, I'll come back to get it, you say, no. Let me get this. The way you see yourself. The way you see yourself. The way you see yourself. That's why I tell people that sometimes you need to experience luxury. Just save money, go and spend a night in a luxurious hotel. To be expensive, but the experience is critical. So you can have a mental picture of that experience. That experience can shift you forever if you have not been in a very luxurious hotel before. Shift you forever. So you can begin to see yourself differently. Because you see that way you see yourself is so critical. So critical. So critical. Why? Remember, the goal of your religious activity in prayer, in fasting, in worship, in confession is to shift you internally. Internally. And by emotional experience, you can also be shifted internally. So you can begin to see yourself the way God sees you. The way God sees you. It's so important. So what you need to do is to displace the current emotional charge of being worthless with an emotional charge of an increased self-worth. How do you create emotional experience? By going into meditation and visualization of that desired reality with an emotionally charged thought. See that someone that loves you acknowledge what you have been able to achieve in that visualization. So you need a job, visualize it, see yourself being congratulated. You know, sometimes having rejection can get to a point where that becomes your basal emotional state, such that even when you are doing the interview, you are not expecting the job. Or you're in sales, you have had a lot of rejection. Even when you are selling, you're not expecting the person to buy. Why? Self-worth. You don't see yourself as being capable to get it done. Self-worth. You need to now visualize that experience, make that sales, get that job, and get someone. And get someone. And get someone that loves you, that will appreciate you, that wants you to have that thing. See him happen. See him appreciating you. And experience the way you will feel while you are doing that visualization. And while you are doing that, do it frequently. You need to do it to a point where you have no doubt in your mind that this is what you deserve. Because you have now experienced it again and again and again and again. Why? Using the power of imagination and feeling the feeling. Remember, you can only have what you already have. Whatever you desire when you pray, believe you have received it, and you shall have it. The reason why people say in abusive relationship and abusive marriage is because they don't love themselves. They don't. If the head of the guy is not correct, separate. When the head is correct, you come back. Don't stay in an abusive relationship. Don't let him kill you. The reason you stay there is you don't. If you love yourself, you won't stay there. You won't. You won't. And people have been killed because they don't love themselves. Because some of them will be pretending they say it's because of what I said. It's me that caused it, that made him to be angry with me. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? A lot of people are attached to what people say about their self-worth, and therefore they attach self-worth to what they are able to do instead of what they are capable of doing. Instead of what they are capable of doing. If you allow the external to make you feel unworthy and worthless, that is nothing more than a reflection that you have not solidified a degree of internal self-worth, and therefore it's shaky. So don't wait for people, ladies and gentlemen, don't wait for people to tell you about how good you look, how nice you look, how good you are at what you do. You should have told yourself first. And you should know that you look nice, you look good. To grow your self-worth, you cannot be emotionally dependent on the external world of others. You need to be emotionally independent of them and dependent on the internal world. Number one, self-forgiveness. Number two, self-praise. Number three component of self-love is self-worth. Number four, self-respect. The energetic opposite of self-respect is disrespect. Disrespect. When you talk to yourself in a way that if others do to you, you will be disrespected, that is self-disrespect that you need to avoid. Anytime you are striving for a standard that you know you should be striving for, that is, anytime you are not striving for a standard that you know you should be striving for, that is self-disrespect right there. Anytime you are not striving for a standard anytime you're not striving for a standard anytime you're not striving for a standard that you know you should be striving for, that is self-disrespect. That's self-disrespect. You need to be careful of the things you allow in your life when you know it is below the level you should be operating at in life. Self-disrespect is what makes you to be comfortable with abuse at work, abuse in relationship, abuse in marriage. Self-disrespect is going to a place where you are not wanted. Self-disrespect is being with someone that does not want you. All these acts of self-disrespect make you to deplete your self-love, and all these affect the manifestation of your desired reality. It's so important. It's so important. Self-disrespect. If you love yourself, you won't want people to disrespect you. People might not like you, but they will not disrespect you. Because look, if they disrespect you, it's because you are disrespecting yourself. You're disrespecting yourself. Lastly, because of time, self-discipline. The energetic opposite of this is self-indulgence. And this is getting involved in what you know you should not be doing. For example, you've told yourself, I will stop taking sugar. Self-indulgence will make you to take sugar. Because if you love yourself, you will discipline yourself not to take sugar. You want to go to gym and you're not going? Self-indulgence. Self-love is what will make you to go to gym, because you know the body must keep fit. Whatever you know you should be doing to yourself, either in what you eat, what you drink, and what you do to your body, whatever you know you should be doing that you're not doing is because of self-indulgence rather than self-discipline. If you love yourself, you will discipline yourself. When you lack self-discipline, you will lack confidence. Listen to this. When you lack self-discipline, you will lack self-confidence. And this will mean you will lack the conviction in you to be able to manifest your desired reality, because lack of discipline means lack of confidence. Lack of confidence means lack of conviction of what you're capable of doing. And when you're not convinced that you can do it, you're also not convinced you will manifest that desired reality. Every time you do what you are not meant to be doing, you deplete your self-confidence. Every time you do what you are meant to be doing, you boost your self-confidence through this act of self-discipline. Please note that solitude is a sign of self-love, because you can only be by yourself without deriving your meaning from others when you have self-love. In summary, ladies and gentlemen, to manifest your desired reality, number one, you must have self-love. To manifest your reality, you must have self-love. To have self-love or boost your self-love, number one, you need to have self-forgiveness. Number two, self-praise. Number three, self-worth. Number four, self-respect. And number five, self-discipline. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. What have you learned tonight? Let me hear from you. What have you learned tonight? Let me hear from you.
Yeah, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Yeah, so this just I listened to a audio on YouTube yesterday by Napoleon Hill, and it just, so what I just listened to today just buttressing everything I heard. It talking about the aura that we carry, and then you not seeking validation from men. And while you were speaking, I noted, I wrote down, I said, don't seek validation from men, rather be your own cheerleader. So
Yes.
if you are looking
Yes. Be
for
your own cheerleader.
so if you're looking for someone to know, so that if somebody tells you, oh, you're doing well, before they tell you, know that yes, I'm doing
You're
well,
doing well. Yeah. Yeah.
and you just say, oh, thank you. Just so not you, no, oh, yo, really, am I doing well? No. So know that you are doing well, and self worth. And I remember a story I heard about a a guy that was trying to woo a lady, and then eventually when he got the chance to speak with her, and he said, "Oh, you're fine." The girl said, "I know, because my father tells me this every day."
Yeah. That's a good father that ensure the daughter is not deprived of that self-esteem. Go ahead.
Yes, so I praise yourself often, even for the even and I also feel that for us, as human beings able to do these things, even sometimes maybe we see it as is not necessary, but being intentional about praising yourself, celebrating yourself, little wins. Maybe you write down your goals maybe for a particular month, and then you're able to, like, oh, at the end of the month you're able to tick this. Just celebrate yourself for that. Just like, oh, I'm able to achieve this, no matter how small that thing will be. And yeah, so when you praise yourself and when you're able to do things for yourself, even when other people do it for you, you don't see it as, and start praising them. Oh, thank you, because you're like, oh, thank you. Yeah, like the thank you, just like, oh, you just being appreciated, but not because you can't do it yourself. So do things that, don't expect people to do things for you, and don't even. And another thing I know people do, and I know I've done this in the past, and but you know not anymore. Where pleasing people, you want to be accepted by people. You
Yeah.
want, yeah. So like, and just like you mentioned, solitude. And I've come to love that's my privacy, where before I can even allow you in, then I will have, okay, maybe I'm just trying to be mean and all that. So you can't even intrude into my privacy and all that. So like solitude, being, and you said something about you waking up. Okay, no, not him, somebody else. Like waking up in the morning and then just first you sit down and then you like just praise yourself, be grateful, show gratitude, and also seeing yourself. You want to achieve something, right? See yourself that, oh, already have this thing. That thing has not come. Just say, Father, thank you because you've given me this thing, right? And picture yourself that way. And I know some of the things I've said, I picked them from my conversation with you, right? Yeah. So, and even though it's been a while that we spoke, I allow these things, I keep them in my heart, like in my actions. So when I do things, I wait to show, like a kind of check and balance. Am I sure I'm putting these things into practice and all that? And also that respect, self-respect is very, very important. Over the weekend, okay, before the weekend, we're at work, and where I first started, I started working recently. I noticed that when they talk, I would just be laughing. I was like, and then I had to tell myself, "Come on, Grace, come on, what's wrong with you? You're not even a child. Why are you doing like this?" And then I had to adjust and I realized that the person that always said that, oh, I can just strengthen at this girl, she saw that that's changed, and then she tried to even withdraw herself, but I like, no, i'm not I'm not going to even bring any. I'm not fighting. We're not going to fight, but I just want this respect, so that the way I carry myself, that's the way you will see me, and
Yeah.
that's the way, yeah, you will, the way you won't approach me and maybe approach me like a child or something. Then you say that, yeah, okay, this person knows what she's doing, this person is immature, this person does not know, she has a, that self-worth, she carries herself with respect. Yeah, so yeah, so that's it for me today.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
sir.
Thank you very much. Yes. Grant,
Good evening, sir.
good evening.
Yes, sir. So from the beginning, we mentioned how that we will take praises from other people. Then when it's time to praise ourselves, we will not praise ourselves to look as if you are proud. That's it. Don't talk about yourself. Don't talk about yourself. I think to many degrees, I'm free from that because I even already detest the word humble, the way it's used. We usually speak of humility as if you're supposed to be humble towards other people, whereas no, you're supposed to be humble towards God. So you meet, and it's usually people with low self-esteem that be describing other people as humble because they fit their mold and they don't hurt their insecurities. So you are humble if you don't stir up other people's insecurities, and maybe because you are shining or something. I mean, I've just thrown it all off. Like, I'm excellent. I know I'm not going to miss words or something. Nonetheless, I also find that as much as I'm aware of it, because it's environmental, to many degrees, I also still wait. I still used to wait because now I'm deciding not to wait again for people to speak good of my works first before I now say it, which is that seeking external validation, not for myself, but for my work, because for myself, no. So that I'm grateful for that. Then you now said that this one made me laugh. He said that if you cannot stay in a house or in the house by yourself from morning till night or for days and be comfortable, don't go and marry you.
Now,
Yeah, it's just funny. And it's, huh?
I say yes now.
Yeah,
Because
actually.
look, you don't know. Your husband is busy and is not around. Begin to complain. You complain. The guy is not around. Or the lady is not around. Okay, oh, you better be happy with yourself and not your happiness not depending on someone's availability.
Yeah. So then I saw a definition for pride, and I saw a definition for pride and humility. I
Okay.
think like 2018. Pride was defined as pride was if you deny your strength, it's pride. If you like when you deny your strength, it is being proud. And then when you refuse to acknowledge your weaknesses, that's also being proud. Then humility is now acknowledging both your strengths and your weaknesses. But we now took one share from pride, one share from weakness, where you acknowledge your weakness, but you don't speak of your strength. But speaking of your strength,
Yes, that's what we do. Acknowledge the
uh,
weakness and not speak of your strength. Yeah.
now I want to mention one thing I heard. I think this was 2017, and it was a
Mm.
preacher. So joy was defined as, joy is Joy. So it was Jesus first, others in between, yourself last. And another thing, that thing was pulled up from the scriptures, but it contradicts the idea of script. It contradicts where it's even taken from. In that when Jesus said, love yourself, love God and love your neighbor as yourself. If we were to rank that thing in the order, it would be love God, love yourself, and love other people.
If
But
you don't love yourself, you can't love people.
there is no
You can't
way.
give. That's a challenge. Sometimes we're very theoretical in the way we do things. If you don't, what you don't have, you can't give. So you must first love yourself first. Now, it is the love you have for yourself that make it easier to love others because you love yourself. You
Mm,
cannot give what you don't have. You can't. If you have not learned to love yourself, you can't love people. You can't. How do you give what you don't have? It's only that is where I can donate blood. So you cannot love your neighbor if you don't love yourself. There's no way you will love your neighbor.
no matter how hard you try.
You can't, it's like, look, it's like someone was at a job. He's not used to giving himself his best at the job. And then he now started his own business, want to give the best. You cannot. For every
Actually,
time you stretch yourself on the job, it's a rehearsal for mastery. Every time
yes.
you stretch yourself on the job, it's a rehearsal for mastery. If you have not stretched yourself on the job, you cannot deliver on your own. That's why Jesus said, who will give you your own if you have not been able to be of value to others? Who will give you your own? Who will give you your own? So if you have not loved yourself, you can't love others because you don't know what it takes to love. You don't.
Yeah,
You
that's
don't.
true. Yeah, that's true. Yes, another part I used to, I think this one was even like I was still questioning that this year, where it was like, because one foundational doctrine or belief of Christianity is sacrifice, which is what brought us the sacrifice of Jesus. And that sacrifice is usually sacrifice yourself, I mean, sacrifice for other people and all those things. But this year, I was not thinking that if I'm the one that now does everything, who will now take care of me? The answer is now other people take care of you. And I say, okay, so me, am I not a person too? Why not? As I'm taking care of other people, I mean, I should take care of me also because I'm a person. As against externalizing every single thing, externalizing love, externalizing praise, externalizing everything. But again, this passage where the Apostle Paul said, he said, preferring others
In
than
honor,
yourself.
preparing one another.
No, there's one place where it says preferring other people, putting other people before yourself. Yes, I'm sure there's a place where it says you should let each person prefer other people better than
In
themselves.
honor, preparing one another now.
There's one place where it says you should put other people before yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So, as much as I now understand this, that's the only scripture that
You
I've seen that.
cannot, if you don't put yourself first. Why is it not that yourself? If I love myself, the kind of love I have for myself, what I have for others. So
I found the
it's
scripture.
easy for me to sacrifice for others because I'm already doing it for myself. So when I find myself in a situation where I need to, you need to choose.
Send it to me.
Sorry. If you find yourself in a situation where maybe only a meal is left, I'm using sacrificing for myself, right? When I find myself in that situation, because I'm full of love, it's easy for me to let go. Okay, let him have it. Why? Because of the kind of, if I have love inside, it's easy for me to want. Love is all about sacrifice, by the way. That's why I tell people that want to get married that if you want to know about love, go and read 1 Corinthians 13. It's not easily provoked, believeth all things, hopeth all things, endureth all things. That's where you find love. If you want to know the meaning of love. So it's easy for me to sacrifice for others if I'm already used to sacrificing for myself. Do you understand what I'm saying? Whatever I'm already used to do for myself, when I find my situation where I need to do it for others, it's easy for me to do it for them. Did you get that?
No, I'm serious. I don't understand.
Okay, let me give you an example.
Okay.
Hold on. I'm going to sacrifice for myself. I love myself, so I'll do everything to ensure I have the best for myself. Now I'm used to that, right? Now I'm in a situation where we are supposed to have food. This is the last meal. This is the last meal. It's easy for me to say, let him have it. Why? Because I'm used to sacrificing. As in, I'm full of love for myself. It's easier for me to show the same love to others because I have it. So I don't feel a sense of loss by letting him have it. Why? Because I love myself. So I don't feel bad. I don't feel terrible. By letting him have it, because I love myself. Does that make sense? Because I'm used to doing it for myself, it's easy for me to do it for others. Does it make sense?
Yes, but I'm still not. So that 1 Corinthians 13 now.
Okay.
That 1 Corinthians 13, which is love is sacrifice. How do you apply it to self-love for self? Like,
give me an example.
Like that love. Okay, let me see.
Love is not easily provoked.
Not easily provoked.
Not easily provoked. Because I love myself so well, I won't be angry. Why? Because I know it's not good for me. I love myself. I will not allow cortisol and stress hormone to enter my system. If I'm used to that, wait now. If I'm used to that, because I love myself not to feel angry no matter what people do, it becomes easier for me not to feel angry. no matter what they do, because I already love myself and I will not allow cortisol in my system. You want to say something? Go ahead.
I think I'm getting it better now. So, knowing how something affects you and refusing it to affect you because you love yourself.
Indirectly, it's going to show in the way you treat others. It's going to show in the way you treat others. You don't even have a choice. You can't, there's something you can't help. As in, like hating someone. If you love yourself, you don't have what it takes to hate. You get it?
Yeah. Yes.
What you don't have, you can't give now. If you don't have hate, no matter what people do to you, you will not hate them. If you don't have anger, no matter what people do to you, you will not be angry with them. Because what it takes is not in you again.
Okay. As you are saying now, as you added that extra one now, it's made it get serious. So, like, how do you practice? How do you practice? Like you just said, if someone does something to you, not be angry with them because you don't need to be angry with yourself. So,
yeah,
like, give me real examples of how you practice First Corinthians 13 with yourself, because it's always used
you
on
need to
other
give
people.
example. There are so many options there. Give example. You need to be specific.
Okay, let me look for one that is
It's
very
not easily
serious.
provoked. It's one of them. That's why I use it.
But how are you not going to be provoked with yourself?
You see, society have taught you to be angry with yourself. So it's strange not to be provoked. It's strange because that society have taught you. Can't see the way society is influencing you.
Oh yeah, yes, the one that says that it's this place, verse 4. It says it does not vaunt itself, or it does not, I don't know, does not charity vaunteth not itself, and is not puffed up, does not behave itself unseemly, it does not sit.
Read it in plain English, I bet.
Oh, the plain English is far. I would have to.
And I read in plain English. I don't want to explain what and be explaining what is not true.
Let me quickly switch. So, come in. Oh.
Verse what?
Verse 4 and 5.
4 and 5.
Yeah.
Standing to suffer it long now.
No,
It's kind. It's yet not. Is it verse 5?
yeah. No, verse 4b and 5. Verse 4b
Love
and
is
5.
patient and kind. Love is not jealous. Does not.
Yeah, love is not jealous or boastful or proud or rude. It does not demand way.
Yes, now.
It's not irritable.
These are things you don't do to yourself, so you won't do it to others.
So now do jealous and boastful or proud to self.
I didn't get that.
Like verse 4b that says it is not jealous, boastful, proud, or rude.
Yeah.
How does that apply to how do you apply?
No, it's not jealous now. Usually you are jealous because you think you want someone to have because you don't have it. But if you already love yourself and you have self-worth, you won't be thinking of that because you know you have it. You have what it takes. So you are not jealous of what others have. If you have self-love, you can't be jealous of what others have. You have self-love.
Okay. It says that I get that one completely. That's true because there's a point at which you know yourself so much you don't want to be other people because you like yourself. Yes, I get that. So now this verse, there's a place in verse 5 that says it does not demand its own way. How does that apply?
It does not what?
Demand its own way.
Love is not rude, it's not selfish, cannot be made angry. Love does not remember wrongdoing against it.
And so which version are you using?
Easy to read.
Read
version. You see?
I do. So I think it's changing.
Read it plain English. It does not remember wrongdoing against it. Read another language so you can easily understand what the Bible is saying.
It eats some details. It does not match. I'm serious, and it's remove some details. This is NIV. I think NLT. It does not demand its own way. KJV says it does not seek. I mean, it seeketh not its own.
Exactly now. That's the same thing now. He does not keep a record of wrongdoing that others do to him. That's another version of contemporary English version. Does not keep record of wrongdoing against him. Easy to read, says, does not remember wrongdoing. Two versions of.
No. Before that, that's like the last part of it. Not keep record.
Okay, let me read verse 5 in easy to read version. Lord is not rude, it's not selfish, it cannot be made angry easily. Love does not remember wrongdoing against it.
Okay. It calls that selfish. So is that selfish I'm talking about?
You can't be selfish if you are loving now. You can't be selfish now. There's evidence of love is giving. Evidence of love. You give to yourself, you treat yourself, and you treat others.
What does selfish mean?
What does selfish mean? You are asking. You are selling fish.
you know, cultural definition of selfish is different from the way selfish is described in culture. As a matter of fact, selfish is now a good thing because what they call selfish is actually being self-loving.
No. Don't look at what the culture says. Does not behave himself unseemly. Does not seek our own. In King James, they call it not seeking our own. And that's self.
Yes.
It's not selfish. It's not seeking. It's not thinking of self. He's dead to self. You know, when people talk about being dead to self. He's dead to self. Do you understand?
Yeah. Okay.
No, but it's good. I love what you're bringing out. Because this is love that many people have. Lack, rather.
Yes, one last part, sir. This one is in like First Timothy chapter 4.
Okay.
That place where it says, in the end time, men shall be lovers of themselves. What does that mean? Like men will be lovers of themselves. Like they would love themselves.
Selfish.
Love yourself.
Selfish.
In Bosa, you've not defined selfish now.
Is that what?
You've not defined selfish.
He's not defined self. What am I that?
Like, what's the definition of selfish?
Self-centeredness now. Thinking of yourself alone at the expense of others.
Oh, at the expense of others.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, it has taken a while, but it's clear up to this point. So,
but
then
I like to have this conversation. You know why? You know what challenge also we have as Christians is sometimes when you hear some things, when you don't have opportunity to ask questions, it doesn't clarify it. And sometimes you go home like that which is why in churches that have Sunday school is a very good idea. There should be conversation. Why? Because they're opening for clarification now. Do you understand? So for me, it's more important session for me whenever we meet every Sunday evening. Because then we can discuss. And I'm keen on those questions. Because it helps to drive home the understanding required to implement. Else, we'll just be talking, nothing is happening.
Yes.
Understand it. You can put practical day-to-day life and activity. Practical day-to-day life. Look, if you put this into practice, you get to a point in your life that you now understand the reason why Christ said a lot of things he said. And it becomes a lot easier. That's the way that, for me, this makes it a lot easier to obey Christ's instruction. Why? Because you can see scientifically the reason behind it. So even if you were thinking, why will you not do this? Why? When you now understand that this thing is for your own benefit, and this is what you stand to benefit, you begin to see the reason why. Immediately you know why. If you know this thing is good for you, and you're stupid and foolish not to do it, it will be unwise to say you don't want to do it now, because you can see the benefit for you as a human being,
Yeah. That's true. Understanding is really what shifts it. It's not
that is the problem we have as believers. The reason you are not forgiving because you don't understand why. The reason you are not praying is because you don't understand why. The reason you are not living a holy life is because you don't understand why. The day you understand why, nobody will, it's so important. It's as important as your life, such that if you don't do it, you need to know, if you know the implication, you'll be very stupid and foolish not to do it. As in, if you just look at it that, oh, TM Okotonche, I think you're just very foolish for not doing it. Why? Because it's not about the person that said it, it's about you. When you know it's about you, you now know that, okay, oh, this is what I need to begin to do. Because it's good for me. So that's a motivation to live that life that Christ wants us to live. It's a motivation. Because, and that's understanding we don't have, that many people don't have. But if you have it, nobody will beg you for you to forgive, for you to live a life devoid of anger. No, as in, there's some things that, because you know the consequences now, as in, you know the consequences. If you don't know the consequences, then you lack understanding. If you have understanding, you are clear. And evidence of clarity is action. When you are not taking action on any instruction, it's because you're not clear. If the day you become clear, you will take action because you know the implication of not taking action.
Yes. That is, in short, this is now very clear. Actually, once you become clear on
When you become clear,
both sides,
you take action.
yeah.
If you're not taking action, you are not clear. You are not clear at all. The day you become clear, taking action is natural.
Wow. Right. Then you mentioned, there was one other thing you said which I had to note. After mentioning visiting an hotel to have a new experience so that you stretch your mind, then you now said one other way to create new experiences is through imagination.
Yeah.
Because you would leave the experience in your mind and your subconscious and neurons will not differentiate.
Yes, they can. They can differentiate. I think that's a gift of God for our mind. The fact that your mind cannot differentiate between what you imagine and what really happened. It's a gift. It's a big gift that God has given us. But we're not maximizing it. It's a very big gift. That's why I said, now unto him that is able to do exceeding abundantly above all you ask or imagine. We're not using that imagination.
Thank you so much, sir.
All right. Adeola, good evening. Long time. Hello? Deola, are you there? Okay, I think Deola is busy. David, long time. Where have you been? Where have you
I'll
been?
be fine. I'll be fine though. It's me and how will I say it? My network issue have been giving me problems. So anytime God help me to join, I join quickly. And thank God for that. That's my problem. I want to get a new MTS. I think it works very well here than the
Okay.
Airtel. Yes, sir. So sir, honestly, today's teaching is a new setting for me. In other words, a shift of mind, right? Because you know, in as much as we are chasing success, we are always focusing more on arrival, on the day we get there, when we achieve that big thing we want to get. And the funny thing is that because of lack of self-love, self-appraisal or praise in that sense, even the milestones we are getting before
We're
we
not
get into
appreciating
the thing that
ourselves.
we are looking for, we don't even recognize it at all. You know, for me, when you were saying it, I start thinking myself like, hey, do you even know that only telling yourself you are doing well is a better way of strengthening yourself to do better?
Hmm?
I start thinking and I was like, this is a very big thing for people because the society have laid bare is that when you try to kind of appraise yourself or praise yourself, you don't look as if you are boasting
Yes.
or you are making it look as if you are better than everybody else, or what you have done have not been done anywhere on earth before. You know, so they will make you not have to come down low as if they've not done anything. Sometimes we have some business partners, or my fellow businessmen that I'm learning from. I met one of them one day. I went to his store and I asked him, "Why don't you try getting a good car?" This man is very rich, like in business, in people will look up to. He said, "Car is not a problem. What to wear? What is not a problem for me? I'm okay the way I am." Do you know that statement he gave me that day? He made me. I reduced the way I dress. I'm telling you, I reduced the way I dress. I was like, someone I'm looking up to is dressing like this. Where the dress they go? You understand? I have to reduce the way I dress just because of, and understanding now is that what he's doing today is also what society is interpreting to him as the right thing to do. He doesn't dress well. He doesn't,
The
look
kind of the
well.
way you do your own business. There's some places if you
Yes,
don't dress well, they won't allow you to enter.
yes.
Some people order for your
Even so,
product online.
even apart from online self, when some people come to the store, someone want to buy item of millions of naira, they want to commit his money to buy something, and you're looking tata. They will look as if this one, if that isn't a fake, it is
That
there.
guy is an old man. He might be pardoned, but you will not be pardoned.
Yes, yes. The thing even affected me, self. There was some time you will now wear some clothes trying to balance with market standard or trying to bring yourself to their standard. You notice that you are gradually looking like them if you don't know. I'm telling you,
I'm
sir.
thinking like them.
Yes, you are gradually looking like them. So sometimes when you even, okay, some time ago, the why I used to do that, my mentality was that anytime I dress, I look nice, I put perfume, I smell nice, and when I'm going out, my mindset was that I'm dressing nice and looking good for Jesus. So if you like it. If you don't like it, it's a problem. As long as Jesus Christ appreciate it, I'm okay. That was my mindset too. But trying to meet these people and they change my orientation, they change my understanding. And now I have to start dropping that. I say, hey, so I think it's also waking up for me that guy, Alpha, this thing I'm actually accepting is not just the societal terminology of understanding. Is it the fact? Is it even the truth? And the big problem is even
When you
higher
don't
than
dress, when you don't dress well, that's self-disrespect.
yes, yes. They bring you to their standard. You have to be thinking like them. Do things their way. So the thing really helped me. And I like the one I love most is when you mention this self-praise. It's a very important key for me personally. Looking back to when I was still in Sulere with my parents and getting a house, decorating the house the way you want to live your future in that sense. You may not have everything, but it's giving you kind of a mind shift that okay, you're at a better stage in life. But we still start thinking that when are we leaving this house? When do you want to be that? But not recognizing that at
Instead
least
of
we have
appreciating
moved.
what you have.
Yes, I've moved from one place to another, and it moved me. And I also like when you said that word. I wrote it down. A good marriage works when two people that love themselves
Are coming
marries.
together. Not someone that is
Yeah.
expecting that is when they marry that you will experience love because he doesn't love
Yeah.
himself.
Yes, yes, it's a very big point. It's a very big point. I pardon me, sir. I actually went on a date today with a girl. So, I was just trying to know her more. So I thought, okay, let's just go out and talk. Let me know you more. Then while talking to her, then I asked her her age. She said she's 24. I said, okay, that's fine. Then I asked her when is she intend to get married. She said she don't mind next year. I said, okay, but do you live on your own or you stay with your? She said she stay with her parents. I said, okay, why do you plan on moving out to your own house? She said no. I said, why? She said, if she moves out, they'll be thinking that she's on her own now, freedom is there. So a lot of things will be happening. I said, I don't understand. Is it that you can't take care of yourself when your parents or your sisters or your family members are not there? She said, no. She's just bringing the fear of a female gender, staying on her own. And and I ask her, okay, let's say assuming now you're not married and your husband is not someone that moves up and down.
Mhm.
Then how do you now undo that? To say when she married, she will solve that. Oh, nah, I say, and now, based on what you're not saying, I'm looking at it, okay, that means if you cannot even manage to stay on your own when you are yourself, that means you even get married, is other people problem on his
No,
own.
for her, it might be, some of this thing for her, it might be
Yeah.
because of society. Because the way society see it. Not because it might not be because she can't stay on her own. After all, didn't she stay on her own on campus? It might
Yeah,
because
yes, he said
society
he did
sometimes
NYSC.
society sometimes feel women should not be on their own before they get married. I don't agree with that. But they feel that it should live from the parent. It's just a society construct. And I think it's because of the way we live. Because if you are working in Lagos, your parents are not in Lagos, you're going to stay with your parents. You're going to stay on your own. It's because your parents are in Lagos, that's why you're claiming that you want to. Because if your parents are not in Lagos, and you're in Lagos, and you have to work in Lagos, you will stay on your own or stay with your friends now. Do you understand? So I'm not sure it's because of not being lonely. It might be because of the fear of the way the parent will resist it or the society. And even in Lagos, do you know that as a single lady, it's difficult to get an apartment? Are you aware?
Yes, very well.
It's difficult.
Very well.
Single lady, no, they don't want single lady. They want either a guy or a married woman. Can you imagine that?
They don't want problem. That's what we say. They don't want problem.
Which problem is that? Can you be saying because a single lady is a problem? But I mean, that's state society. So I'm trying to say that I'm not sure I don't want you to assume that she can't be by herself. You have to ask further questions to probe that before you conclude on that. That's why I have to interject you. Go ahead.
Okay. Thank you, sir. So, so I have this question that pondered in my mind when you were speaking, and the question goes to us. I said, "Sir, don't you think self-appraisal or self-praise will make one fit for feed and not be energetic enough? Like it will make one fit for feed, like you have arrived, one, and it may not give that person more energy to do more. Or
I like your question. Now, so that's where number one, you must understand something in this life. Breath is a sign that something greater to conquer. Breath is a sign that something greater to conquer. You must have a mindset that you will never arrive. That must be clear in your mind as a human being. You are always on a journey. You will never. It's when your desire in life is about having a car, having a house, having family that you think you have arrived. That means you don't have a big dream. That means you are thinking of yourself. That means you are not thinking of how you can contribute to the advancement of the kingdom. If you're a kingdom mindset person, you will never have enough.
Yeah.
You know, someone drops something on that group every Monday that will contribute for the for the feeding. Now, we only do 2 I think it was 3 before, we reduced to 2. Now, if you have that kind of dream and you want to feed people every day, you can't be contented. Now, you can't say you have arrived now because you want to increase the number. You can never arrive. I'm just giving you a simple example that thinking you have arrived is a sign that you are thinking of yourself. That's a selfish human being who is not thinking of the kingdom and thinking of how he can be a blessing to the world. He's only thinking of himself. So immediately you begin to think of others, you will never arrive because you will never have enough to do what you want to do to be a blessing to the world. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. Because I know, going back to my goals of life, when I look at it, one of my biggest goals in life is I want to have like a minimum of 5 estates where we have minimum of 20 houses in each estate, and we have to be picking people who don't have to be homeless,
Yeah, exactly. Now, can you imagine that? Yeah. You want to build house for the homeless. You know how much that will cost? So you cannot, you can't, if you, that's exactly what I'm saying. That when you think, if you're in this life, and that's what it means to be fruitful. When the Bible says be fruitful, a tree does not produce fruit for itself. Yeah. You are not created as a human being for yourself. No. Particularly when you are blessed or when you are privileged, it can never be about you. The day you understand it can never be about you, that's when you realize that there's so much to do in this life that you can never arrive. Anytime you think you've arrived is because you don't have a dream, you have a very limited dream, and it's just about yourself, me, myself, and my children, my family, my this. When you think about that, a few million, you're fine. But if you have a big project, a big dream, you will never arrive. So I like that kind of dream. We need that in Nigeria. It's unfortunate where we think. Actually,
we have started from at least feeding.
The one you are doing in the state, I mean. It's unfortunate the way we think as humans. Even as Christians, the Bible says, be fruitful, be fruitful. So sometimes we think only of ourselves, our family, our children, our wife. We really think of others. Really. And do you know what? You don't need a lot to think of others. You have to think of them now when you don't have a lot. Because when you have a lot, what you are doing now is a rehearsal for you to do more when you have a lot. If when you don't have enough, you are able to do it because you have it in your budget. When you have a lot, it becomes easier to do because it's already part of you.
Yeah.
It's already part of you. So you should not live your life with a dream just for yourself, because you are the light of the world, not the light of yourself, of your house, of your street, or of your church. You are the light of the world. So you should live a life to be a blessed world. And you know what I discovered? When you have that kind of dream, God also ensure resources to achieve it come your way. Because you are going to use it for His sake. So you're also going to find that opportunity. But if you don't have that kind of dream, it will not come. Because what will you do with it now? It's just going to make you foolish more. Because money bring out the foolishness in people. It bring out, the person is foolish before, the money not amplify it. Any vice in an individual, what money does is to amplify it in that person. But when you have kingdom mindset and thinking of how you can be a blessing to the world, blessing to the kingdom. I know billionaires in Lagos, the only thing they fund is missionaries. They know there are missionaries that they don't have enough church supporting them. That's the only thing they fund. They fund several missionaries in the bush. Do you understand? Taking care of their children, taking care of their family. You think God will not bless them? Because you see what they are doing. So thinking that self-praise will, and I agree with you, it happens to some people because they think they have arrived. But immediately you understand that your life is not about you, your life is about others, and that you can never arrive because there's so much to do to be a blessing to the world, you will never arrive. And you will want to do more and more and more.
Okay, thank you so much about that.
All right, thank you. Okay.
I'm not done. No. Tonight,
Go ahead.
I have to be joining the team of delaying now, so be exhausting what is in the mind.
Go ahead.
So, another thing, when you mention self-worth, all right? You said self-worth is not what you believe you deserve, but is what you know you deserve.
Yes.
And when you say this, you say attach it like the ceiling of your self-worth is what you will attract.
Yes.
So my question now is this: how do one
grow? Okay.
How do one know? The first question is, how do one know his current self-worth?
Let me tell you how you know.
The second,
when you wait now, what's the second one?
The second one is, if you have known, then how do you grow it?
Grow it, okay. The first one, how do you know? When you notice that no matter the effort you put in, it's the same result. No matter the effort, that's saying it's like so if you're a business person, you don't do more than this turnover. No matter the marketing effort, you don't do more than this turnover. No matter the marketing, if you're a business, an employee, you notice no matter what you do, you don't end beyond this level. You don't end beyond this level. Do you understand? That means no matter the effort, you are within that range. Even if you double your effort, you are still within that range. That's your self-worth. Your self-worth, no matter what you do, you cannot go beyond it. Now, how do you grow it? You need to create an emotional experience internally that shows you are now more than that. How do you do that? So, for example, let's say if I'm an employee now and I'm earning, let's say 5 million naira per annum, and I want to earn 10 million naira per annum. The question is, how will I feel when that happens? How excited will I be? Who will I discuss? Who will I call and say, see what happened? How you see the way I will feel? That's the way I need to begin to feel now. Then I'll begin to have an emotional experience that put me in that state. Emotional experience that put me in that state. If I do it long enough, it's going to shift me internally, such that I now know this is what I deserve.
That's what you mean.
Go ahead.
That's what you mean by your self-worth is what you have emotionally intensively expressed in your mind.
Yes, exactly.
Explain now.
Exactly. Such that you have no doubt in your mind again that this is what you're worth. And you don't even when you are not able to make up to that, it doesn't change the fact that this is what you are worth. It doesn't change it. It doesn't change the fact that this is what you are worth. It's like, I know I'm a man. It doesn't matter if someone says, you look like a woman. It won't bother me because I know I'm a man.
Yeah.
So that I've not seen what I expect does not change the fact that I know I have it.
Yes. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, I grabbed that. Grabbed that. So, sir, let's move to the next one.
Okay.
The self-respect slash disrespect.
Yes.
So, I grabbed that. So you said, anytime you are not striving for a standard that you know you should be striving for, then
I'm
you are
disrespecting yourself.
disrespecting yourself. Hmm. So now, I was looking at this with self-worth, respect, and worth in that sense. In other words, for example, if you know, because you are using your tab and some other material to explain it better for us in that sense. So I'm not looking at it like, okay, for example, if you know that this thing that you want to buy it and you can afford it, for example, this thing is maybe like 200,000 naira, and this other one worth 50,000 naira. And for example, to your standard, to your grade now, what you are doing, you can actually afford that 200,000 naira. And that thing is better for you than getting one of 50,000 naira. So going for the 2,000 naira, sorry, going for the 200,000 naira, does that mean that, yes, you understand your standard in that sense? Or in other words, you understand your self-worth and you're respecting yourself in that regard?
Exactly. To the extent that you can even afford it. If you can't afford it, you can say, okay, instead of getting 50, I will come back and get it 200. But you can even afford it. You still go for the other one. That's exactly what I'm saying. You know what it's doing for you. It's not about the amount you have spent. It's the way you see yourself that I deserve the best. That's the way you see yourself. I deserve the
Yeah.
best. I deserve the best.
It remind me of something one time when, as he was going and one man called me and say, how are you doing? So before I used to tell the man I'm fine, I'm good, I'm doing this thing. So, during the classes, my steps start shifting and, we start learning new things. So when the man asked me again, he said, I'm blessed to be a blessing. I'm not more fine again. I'm already blessed. So you just take it that way. So, it gives me, when I say that to myself, that I'm blessed to be a blessing, it gives me a kind of I feel at home inside. That means I have enough. I'm not, I'm not bothered if a physical customer comes in or not. I have enough customers. If they're not buying, that doesn't mean they're not coming. They're coming to buy.
Yes.
So there's this comfort within. Yes, there is comfort within. So I really love that. So lastly is self-discipline. So I can allow other people to talk. So, he said doing what you know you should not be doing. Okay, now, okay, self-discipline, doing what you know you should be doing. Is self-discipline, but the other way around is actually not it. And then when you lack self-discipline, you will lack self-confidence.
Yes.
And lack of self-confidence is lack of convictions.
Yes.
When I look at that, and what I could remember is that I even thank God. Well, I know that what all these things I say is working, sir. Do you know that throughout this year to date, I don't take minerals again.
Oh, that's good.
I don't take minerals again. If I mistakenly come in contact with it, I feel as if I'm trying to force myself to take what is not ideal for my body.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So since this year, I remember that time when we talk about it at the seminar, when we came that time, the boot camp. It was play play. I just stopped. I said I won't take it again. So I keep rolling for 1 week, 2 weeks. Till
Now,
now,
you know what
I
that
don't
does for
think I've
you?
never.
It makes you confidence in yourself that you can abide by what you want to do. And then convince that, yes, I can do it. And that's very important. Go ahead.
The thing even also helped me in terms of my intellectual capacity, that I have to compare myself that what's come to us every night. If I cannot do, let me read at least three sentences, even though I'm tired before I sleep. Let me read three sentences from any book of what I have, And you know, I look at the books now when the year was like half of the year, and I checked. I noticed that even the books have even gone half, the whole
Mm-hmm.
4 books that we are reading. I was like, that means if I consider this part like this kind of way in all aspect of my life, to discipline myself, to do what I'm supposed to do, then that means I should be having results like this in all aspects of my life.
Yes,
So why am I
exactly.
limiting them in just some things? Why can't I? That means, in other words, I will not be in control of my life, in what I
Mhm.
want. Tí bá fẹ́ kó ṣẹlẹ̀, kò ní ṣẹlẹ̀. Tí bá fẹ́ kó ṣẹlẹ̀, kó ṣẹlẹ̀. So I think it's making sense for me in understanding that self-discipline. Well, in all, I think it's really a great class and it's a transforming one, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Good to have you. Sam, good evening. Hello, Sam.
Yeah, hello, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, well done. How's everything?
Very fine.
Yeah, sorry, I joined a bit late. I
Okay,
was a
okay,
bit
okay,
sensitive.
okay, okay,
But what I want to clarify is this.
okay.
You said if you are doing what you're supposed not to be doing, you will not find fulfillment.
If you are doing, self-love, self-discipline, doing what you know you should be doing.
Yeah, but maybe, for example, you are supposed to be, let's say you are supposed to be manager. That's what I
No,
got.
that's different. This one is personal, things you want to do personally. This one you do
No, I
personally.
know.
So if you go to a man, if it's ranked in the office, that's not discipline.
Oh, okay.
And that would be, when I was talking about disrespect.
Oh, yeah.
Respect.
Or lack of self-fulfilling. You gave an analogy that, okay, if you are doing what you're supposed not to be doing, that is, you are doing lower than what you should be doing.
Yes.
That
Yes.
you not
Respecting
find
yourself.
fulfillment in that.
Yes. No. So I supposed to give my best, but I'm not giving my best for whatever reason.
Oh, okay.
So I'm supposed to give my best, but I said no. How much are they even paying me? I'm not giving myself best. I'm disrespecting myself because instead of stretching myself so I can become master of what I'm doing, I'm disrespecting myself, making myself not to be able to achieve what I'm capable of doing because I feel someone is not doing me well, so I will not also do well.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's just the clarification I think I need.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, welcome, sir.
Senator of the Federal Republic. Senator Victor. Your voice is low.
Hello, sir.
Yes, it's better. I don't know.
I'm fine, sir. Thank you very much for this teaching. I think Carlo, David, and Grant has taken all the time away
I'll take
already.
it low. No, go ahead. Don't worry. Go ahead. You have questions.
Yeah, it's already past 10. Okay, anyway, let me start
I'm not in a hurry. So,
okay.
Go ahead.
Because I'm thinking that there should be time allotted for each speaker so that everybody can have a fair...
No, don't worry. If I'm in a hurry, I would have told them that I want to go. But I'm not in a hurry this evening, so go ahead. I also finished late anyway. I typically finish between 50-55 minutes, but I finished around 1 hour, 15-20 minutes today. Because I didn't want to split it.
Oh, okay. Yes, sir. So starting from the first thing you mentioned about self-love.
Yes.
I think Grant there was this definition conquest about the difference between selfishness and self-love, because I think there's a thin line, because that's why in some quarters self-love is being interpreted as being selfish.
So most of those self-love they talk about is selfishness. So those ones, they are doing it at the expense of others. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah, but anytime you practice self-love, because I want to maybe you will give an example between what selfishness and self-love means, because many times there's a thin line between both, and it's always...
Why do you say there's a thin line?
Because some people, when they do things that occurs,
being selfish is a sign that you don't have love. Period.
No, some people say no, they're just putting themselves first. That doesn't...
You're not getting my point. So you need to paint the scenario. When you say you're putting yourself first, when you say you're putting yourself first, paint the scenario. I just gave a scenario where they're sharing food. The last meal is this, and love means you give it to others. Why? Because self-love. You are so satisfied with yourself with or without that food. So you're willing to give it out. Selfishness means it must be me. Even if nobody eats, I must be the one to eat. That's selfishness. Can you see the difference?
Yes, well, another person will say they are prioritizing their own nutrition.
Is that what?
I said someone can interpret that as saying I'm not selfish, I'm prioritizing my nutrition
And because
and well-being.
Your well-being, the fact that that's not true, not giving that food, someone eating that food does not mean you're not prioritizing your well-being. That's not true.
No, in that moment of me not giving her the food, I'm prioritizing my well-being. That's
what I'm saying. I said that's not true. That person is selfish. If that's the only meal left, you can afford that meal, you can buy it. Not that you can't afford it. Someone else need it, you still want to take it. That's selfish.
Okay, what if you're in a place where food is not accessible to you? What do you do in that moment?
But you can afford it. You go and
you
buy
can afford it, but there's no access.
You're not getting my point. If you can afford it, you can always buy later. You should understand this by now. If you don't eat that, you will not die now. Mm-hmm. You can afford it because someone else cannot. Someone else cannot. You can. If you are loving, you will show love. If you love yourself, you show love. You know why? If you understand what you do when you show love, you are better off. So if you love yourself, you show love because of the serotonin, dopamine, and oxytocin released in your body. You feel better and fulfilled. So in the bid to help yourself, because you love yourself and you want those hormones in your body, you show love. What are you talking about? That person is selfish. He doesn't even understand what he's saying. So forget about this self-love we talk about all over. That's selfishness.
Oh, okay, sir. So I think David, Carl David, I want to mention two things he spoke about. Okay. First of all, he also like spoke my mind when he said about when you prioritize self-love, when you're happy, like you do a task, you're happy. Because I feel like sometimes why people don't celebrate themselves too much is just to maintain that motivation of
and that's what also keep them. I get your point. That's also keep them small because they are not when they now do it and nobody appreciates them, they'll be angry. Imagine with all the effort I put in, they can't even appreciate my effort. I won't do it again because you are not praising yourself. You are not appreciating yourself. So you are depending on other people's appreciation.
No, what I'm saying is that one is not even, you're not waiting for other people's validation. Okay, let me give an example. For example, now someone that feels like, oh, okay, in a month I should be earning so amount of money. And let's say in a month it was like, okay, my target should be 1 million. But of course he has a job or he has a business and he's getting 500,000. He's in profit. So, but instead of taking that money, I'm going to go and say, okay, this money now, I can go to a nice restaurant, I can have a good time. He would rather put that money elsewhere because he has not met his targets. So, can you say he's eating himself, or is that not because he's like in a month that should be doing, even if that money can still afford him some conveniences, the person is saying, no, because I've not achieved my goal, let me set this money aside and let me it's almost like you're disciplined, you're punishing yourself for not meeting the goal.
There's nothing wrong with that now. If I have a target and I've not hit my target and I decide I want to invest the money for me to hit my target, there's nothing wrong with that. The idea is I need something. I need it and I have option. I need it, but I have option. The option of a very cheap one and the option of a very durable but expensive one.
No, yeah,
you say what?
Yeah, I'm not talking about you even investing the money. I'm like, I'm sure you got my decision.
Okay, go ahead. Take the question again.
Okay, like for example, like you have a target. Let's say you're in sales, for example. You should have hit like 500K in profits. But if you want to hit 1 million, but you're hitting 500,000. But even if 500K you eat is like, and you are seeing profit, even if it's not your goal. But instead of like, ideally, if you have gotten 1 million, for example, I can say, okay, after this 1 million now, let me take some amount of money to like enjoy myself. But because you have not gotten your target, you are not going to love yourself that much.
No. You should still appreciate yourself. No matter how small the progress you make, appreciate yourself. No matter how small the progress you make, appreciate yourself. No matter how small, you don't need to hit the target. the fact that you appreciate yourself is going to catapult you to achieving that target, because you're going to now be in the frame of mind that make you happy with what progress you have made, and then you want to continue. You're not resting on your oars, but you appreciate the little you've done so far, and then you put in more effort to be able to achieve your objective. So it's not the amount that you have achieved, it's appreciating yourself in spite of the fact that you have not achieved your target. The fact that you are now appreciating yourself does not mean you are going to stop because you're appreciating yourself. But you know you have not arrived now. But the fact
but that's
that,
so as not to rest on your house, like that's
exactly what I said. That's exactly what I said. Those people who rest on their oars when they've not achieved their objective just because they praise themselves, it's a sign that the person does not even understand. As in, you don't know what you are doing to yourself when you don't appreciate your effort. The reason you complain when nobody appreciates it is because you are not appreciating yourself. You have not done a lot, so now someone now came and talked down on you, maybe at work, because you have not. Now you feel bad. Can you imagine? The little I've done, self, they didn't even know how much it took me to do it. See the way he's talking to me. The reason you are angry the way he's talking is because you've not appreciated yourself. If you are full of appreciation, you won't be bothered about what he's saying. Why? Because you're already full of appreciating yourself for the effort you've made and the results you've been able to generate. Do not wait for people to appreciate you on the outside. Don't wait for that. Appreciate yourself and what you've been able to do. Do that for yourself again and again with every little victory you have. Thank God for it. Appreciate yourself. Be thankful, be grateful, and praise yourself for the feat you have achieved. Remember, the goal of that is to keep you in that what's the name? Frame of mind of being an achiever rather than a user. A frame of mind of being an achiever, and you need that. Remember, your frequency speak before you speak. Your frequency speak before you speak. You want to be an achiever so you can attract more of that to yourself.
Well, thank you, sir.
All right.
Yeah, one more thing, sir.
Go ahead.
Want to disagree with Carlo David on one thing he said, because he was talking about he went on a date with somebody and he was asking
I already told him not to conclude on that now.
Cover off.
Did you hear my response? Go ahead, let me hear what you have to say.
Yeah, my own issue is like, why is that even an issue in the first place? Like, what is the whole job?
Some people feel they should not be staying in the parent place now.
Why? What's the
because they feel, and some people feel they should grow up now and be independent.
Doesn't because they're living
independent. Is that what?
I don't think it makes you necessarily better than anybody that is like either you are living with your parent or not. Like
it's all a mindset thing. It's all a mindset thing. It's all a mindset thing.
I understand, Sha, because I feel like in the grand scheme of things, like it doesn't, because when you look at, because in life, everybody should look at for is leverage. If your parents are able to give you like a decent accommodation, why you use your money to sort out other things and invest in yourself and invest in things, opportunities available to you?
But let me tell you, you are not looking at it, you are not balancing your view. It could be that the lady is under the control of the parent and they will not allow her to do what she wants. So the lady, let's assume the lady really wants to be independent because it doesn't like what is going on in the home. And the parent insists he has to be in the home. That's not good. Because when they get married, they'll be controlling her also in her husband's house. So look at it, balance it. So it should be that the lady wants to be there, not because they force her to be there. And she could not control it. I mean, she now under the control of her parent, even as an adult. Because that will not help her in her marriage. There are people today that are married, their wife, parent are the one controlling the family, and the husband. In fact, I have a friend today that is separated because of this issue. He's separated today. He has not, in fact, he's separated today because of this issue. He was at some point almost losing his mind. He had to leave Nigeria. Why? Because the wife was in control by the parent. So try to understand the fact that some people might feel, look, I don't want to marry a woman that is not independent-minded, that parents are still controlling even as an adult. Then he's married now, they'll be saying, what did your husband say yesterday? And what is your response? Tell her this. So try to look at the way people think. It might be that someone is saying, look, I don't want that. But just the fact that it's living there does not mean that's the situation. I'm just trying to say that it could be that. So also look at that perspective so that you understand that, okay, just in case, hope is not because she really wants to, but her parent is saying she must. That's not a good place to be. You don't want to marry that kind of lady. You don't want to marry that kind of lady.
Yeah, but again, Tisha, I know what you're saying, sir. But he was making it look like, because it was like, why? It's like as if subjects, you should ordinarily, that should be your default mode. Like you should move out.
Yes, now, if she came up in a home where all her sisters, by the time they finish school, they are on their own. So it's strange to her that why would you not be on your own? Try to understand where people are coming from.
Again, that's what I'm also saying too. That's not metric because your sisters have done it. It doesn't still matter too. It depends on everything is like a personal choice, and it doesn't even mean they can control you either you're with them or you're not with them. Because I have
no. They can control you if you allow them to control you.
That's what I'm saying too. That either you stay with them or not stay with them, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day, because depending on the kind of person that, yes, maybe
how do we know? How do we know? We won't know until we're married now.
That's the point. I'm saying you living alone it does not place you
living alone might be a good indicator of independent mindedness.
It's not
let me tell you, if the parents are able to controlling and they are in the same city, they will not allow to live alone. If they are in the same city, maybe what you're saying is if they are controlling and they're in the same city, most likely they will not allow. If they are controlling, I'm trying to make you to see the other side. You are looking at this side. I'm saying this other side exists, so we can balance it.
No, exactly.
I agree with what you are saying, but I'm also look at the other side. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm talking about. I know, understand the balance, but I'm like, it should not be like a thing by you saying, yeah, so years 24. Because I was talking about leverage, because at the end of the day, because when you look at when I think it was I was watching the story of Jeff Bezos, and I've even seen some also recent examples of people that when they were starting out in life, they were not quick to move out of their parent house, and that saved them rent, and they were able to do a number of things. Even Jeff Bezos, so at some point he was staying in his mother's basement for even Bill Gates. I think many of those people.
Let me tell you.
So that's I'm just like
hold on. Let me tell you.
Let me finish. Okay,
go ahead.
I'm like, sometimes like this urge for independence, like very early, like so at the end of the day, doesn't really give the dividends that people really think it give, because it's almost like it makes you
hold on, leave it. Let me tell you what independence does for you. It makes you to begin to think fast as an adult. Now you have to pay your rent, you have to think of your bill, your food, your everything. You know what that does for you? It will make you to know that I need to do more, I need to earn more, because what I'm earning is not enough. But if I have all those comforts, I would think I'm okay until the day I move, I realize I've been shielding myself from expenses I should face immediately. Because if I don't face these expenses now, eventually I'm going to face them, because I'm thinking, because I have free accommodation, free food, free this, free that. So practically, maybe I'm earning 200,000. I probably didn't even spend up to 50,000 every month. Whereas when I move out, my expenses would be more than 200,000. But how do I know my expenses is more? Until I move out. So look at another perspective. So it's all about perspective. You talk about leverage, and but also look at the fact that you are also denying yourself of the opportunity or begin to take in some responsibility that you eventually take, and that will let you know if what you are earning is even enough to carry those responsibilities you are going to have to deal with after. Go ahead.
No, okay, I get that, but I'm like, that example of saying, okay, your expenses is more, it's just that's survival mindset now. That's not what it's going to. No, you were saying that, okay, if you are on your own, you think, oh, I have this bill to pay, I have to settle this, but I'm like, it's survival mindset that your goal is, I cannot. I'm like, it should not be like, ideally, like rent to pay, what to eat should not be your problem in any, like, you should
it's
have
a problem. It should not be. I agree with you, but it's a problem for many now. Why are you talking? Well, this is obvious now. It's a problem for many now. How can you say it should not be agreed? But it's a problem for many. It's a problem for many. A big problem that people have to deal with in their lives. Sincerely, you will not. It's when you begin to live alone, you begin to understand some things that you didn't even. You might think you are earning enough and be on and rest on the as if of making effort to earn more, because you are living with someone. You are living with you are shielded. But if you are on your own and you are bearing all the costs, you know that, okay, no, I think I need to do more because obvious my cost, my income is not at par with my cost. Then you want to do certification, you want to do training, you want to do program that will increase, that will get a better job and increase your earning. But if you do not find yourself in that situation, you might not think of it. So I'm trying to say that what you are saying is correct, and I agree with you. I'm just letting you see other part of it so that we can be balanced about the fact that, look, there are pros and cons to staying with your parent and not staying with your parent. There are pros and cons. When I finished school, I did not return home one day. I was staying with friends. So we share every cost, the accommodation, the food, we share it. I stay with them till I got married. When I was a few months to getting married, I went to get my own accommodation. But I was already used to those costs because I was sharing with my friends. But at least I was bearing the cost even though I was not bearing it alone. You know?
So what we say about leverage, sir?
No, I'm not saying leverage is not okay. I'm only saying that look at it. So for example, so leverage is, okay, you now have enough, probably you'll be able to invest more, which make a lot of sense actually. So I'm not disputing it. I'm only saying that you're also going to deprive yourself of something. So I would rather you have the best of both worlds. Incur those expenses, grow your earning so you can also invest and have that leverage. That's the best. That's what I would recommend. So you enjoy best of both worlds. You are rehearsing for what will happen when you get married, and at the same time, you are striving to have more, to earn more, to be able to ensure you have enough to pay your bill and to invest.
Oh,
all
thank
right.
you, sir.
All right. I can see Favor. Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. How are you today?
Fine, thank you, sir. So sorry I came in late,
Yeah,
but I was able to pick up something
What were you able to pick up? Yeah, go ahead.
on self-discipline, where you talked about the fact that we have to be disciplined when we take decisions or we make certain where you cited examples as to making certain decisions around ensuring that we meet up with certain activities that we do. Say, for instance, you had actually planned to probably lose weight in a particular year, and there are A, B, and C steps that you're taking to stay healthy. The expectation that you do that. One of the main thing I took out from it is the fact that when we are self-disciplined, when we discipline ourselves, it can be stressful in the short run.
Yeah.
Start out, it's like it's difficult, but with determination and continuous practice and continuing to do it, and with that consciousness, we're able to get out of that space to a better place and achieve our results. Thank you very much, sir. I would have to get into the entire conversation.
All right. Thank you very much, everyone. Yes, Victor, go ahead.
Yeah, no, finally, I think you were saying during like self-love that the favored ones are those that forgive themselves easily.
Yeah, yes, I was saying that. Yes, that if you find out, the idea is this: if you are not, there's things you see in your life that should make you to begin to ask questions about the way you are living. And I gave the example of the fact that it seems as if somehow things are not favoring you. You need to ask yourself an important question about, because your frequency speak before you speak. So you did something, you refuse to forgive yourself. It's not likely people are going to forgive you when you do something wrong, because you are not emitting the right frequency that will make them to even want to forgive you. Go ahead.
Yeah, yes, sir. I was just even like trying to joke that I think Favor uses like the favored word. So I had to ask her that does she forgive herself?
Favor, any response?
Well, yes, sir. Yes, sir. I do. I do. And so I think the favored one is just majorly just reminding myself that I'm favored. My name is Favor, and the favor of God is upon me. And so
okay.
Okay, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. See you next week. Have a great weekend. Week ahead, rather. And bye-bye.